one of India's most respected engineering companies with a market cap of 55,000 crores, headquartered in Pune, 18 facilities that they have as well. And the company builds invisible backbone of Indian industry from boilers that generate steam, chillers that cool massive facilities, and systems that treat water, control air pollution. So in short, what does it mean? Everywhere energy is generated, used or cleaned up, Thermax has got its position there. Now business segments that it runs, right? It's across 4 segments. First one, the industrial product segment, which contributes to around half of their revenues. What does it make in industrial product segment? It makes heating and cooling equipments, boilers, you have water treatment machines, you have pollution control systems for sectors, whether you look at pharma, whether you look at cement, you have steel, and increasingly now even data center is the one that's coming into play. Let's pull up the next segment. You have industrial infrastructure. This accounts to around 40-42% of the company's revenue. Now, what does it handle? Handles large engineering projects. Think massive and supercritical boilers, and this is going in for power plants. This is what comes in this segment. You have fuel gas desulfuration systems. That's what comes in here as well. And then there is the chemical specialty segment as well. So specialty and performance chemicals are sold globally. This is what they look at as well in this segment. That is around 4-5% of their business. General and green solution business, which is the one where Thermax is making a very big bet on Indian energy transition. And this is through solar assets, through bio-CNG, accounts around 6% of their business. And that's where the story is, right? That energy transition piece is where the story really gets interesting for Thermax. Is no longer just an industrial equipment maker. It is positioning itself as an energy transition company. From bio-CNG plants that convert agriculture waste into clean fuel, to cooling and boiler solutions for data centers. You have solar power assets companies are chasing, and that's the next big wave of industrial growth in India and globally is what the company is chasing. Now looking at FY26 in terms of numbers, the revenue 10,694 crores for FY26, a single digit growth that we saw there. But in terms of the order book, strong double digit 27% growth, and 13,600 crores is where the order book stood at. International market is leading the growth as well. They're seeing good orders coming in from that front, driving the pipeline for the company as well. We want to discuss all of this with the company. We want to discuss what's the strategy of the company going forward, and we're going to be doing that at the Thermax facility in Nagpur, bio-CNG facility, and we'll be joined by Ashish Bhandari, MD and CEO of the company. Nice meeting you. Hi, nice meeting you.
Good to see you.
We're excited to be at the plant.
Absolutely, come.
Yeah. Ashish, thank you so much for inviting us here. It's a pleasure to be here. And let's start by talking about the next phase of evolution. We, as a country, are in a phase where we need energy transition, where we are talking about a balance that we need between renewables, the new form of energy versus old, right? How are you seeing things that have changed in the industry for this next phase of energy security and energy transition?
A lot is changing in India. And at the heart of it, India's energy problem right now, or the energy story, has got 3 primary elements. First, India needs a lot of energy. Our power needs, our energy needs are growing upwards of 5% in a year.
Okay.
Over the next 25 years, globally, India will be the place where energy needs will rise the most. More than China, more than any other country in the world. And so energy availability and associated with that, energy security, both of them become very important aspects of what India needs to take care of.
Now, in a challenging time, especially when you talk about the last few months, after the West Asia war, we've realized the need is even more. Have you seen more changes coming along? Have you seen that coming from the policy side as well? You know, last time we spoke, you said there are policies coming in place, but is the pace enough? And now has the pace increased?
The expectation, so first there's this very strong realization all around that the pace needs to increase. Yeah, we are here today at a bio-CNG plant. There was a time when it was expected that India could have 3,000 plus bio-CNG plants. We are not even at 1/10 the number.
Oh.
And that is because some of the initial plants had difficulty achieving commercial viability and the economics were marginal. And there were also some policy decisions that the government was working on. As I understand, in the next couple of months, there are some very big policy decisions that are expected that will really make this industry go on a growth path like never before. I expect bio-CNG to be equivalent of India's next ethanol story with hundreds of plants coming up all across the country.
What would be that market size if we talk about it?
So India today imports more than 50% of our needs for natural gas is imported for India. And what that means is for everything, city gas distribution, industrial use, even without using gas for power, there are multiple applications, transportation, all of these applications are growing fast. So India's natural gas needs are growing very, very fast. Within the energy mix, it's one of our fastest growing energy needs. Bio-CNG plants address this. Done well, the industry is worth several $1 billion in India, maybe even $10 to $20 billion worth of business annually for the nature and the size of the business India can do. Overall, I think as much as 20% of India's natural gas needs can come by this domestic deployment.
And you said economies of scale in the past, given there were challenges, there were mistakes you make, the right proportion has to go in all of this, right?
Yes.
Have they started improving economies of scale for this business?
So the economies of scale, technology have both started to improve considerably. For Thermax, we took 14 plants and those were taken 3 years ago as orders. In the first year, they were just learning. Every day it felt like, wow, will we ever learn this and will we ever come across? But in the last 1 year, our stability has improved tremendously. All our plants are going through commissioning and performance tests. This plant, as an example, has gone through that performance test successfully. And we've got one more big plant in Punjab, which is right now going through performance tests. So we are now getting to the point that we understand the technology very well. We think the economics are also very close to making these commercially viable. And with this last couple of decisions that are expected from the central government, that is the only thing that this industry needs to really break out and do something special.
And that is hopefully soon, given that everybody is
hopefully very, very soon.
So now bio-CNG for Thermax is how much of the portion?
So we are doing about 14 plants. In the last 2 years, we haven't taken really any new orders. We have taken some orders which are largely like adding digesters at existing plants. We all also learned, for example, initially that with 3 digesters, you could do the work. Over time, we realized we needed more digesters. So at many of our plants, we added digesters. Beyond that, we really haven't added more. But if the industry takes off like we expect, this could be one of the biggest areas of Thermax.
How does the revenue come for this? It's annuity or?
So we have got 2 parts of revenues. One, when you construct the plant itself. Which for a typical 20 tons per day plant is about 100 to 150 crores of plant setup, etc. And then you get an annuity for O&M, which is maintenance of the plant and operating the plant and taking care of things. Tomorrow, there could also be a service stream for sourcing the biomass, bringing it in, taking care of digestate, a lot of other things that are out there. I think with the right policy decisions that are expected, this could easily be 1,000 to 2,000 crore business for Thermax.
Oh, wow. And that's by when?
So we will see when the policies come in. But I do think over the next 2 to 3 years should be very, very exciting for this industry.
Okay. Ashish, while we're talking about numbers, all of it, but I want to understand that process a bit more in detail.
Sure.
So I want you to take me inside and explain me that full process as well.
Would love to do that. Why don't we go to the other side and we will start to look at the process itself.
Absolutely. This is, I think, step one of all the processes.
So yeah, a bio-CNG plant has 5 parts.
Okay.
And to explain to someone, I'll again use the human methodology.
Yeah.
The first thing that we do, we eat our food and we chew it.
Yeah.
Yeah, why do we chew it? Because we need to break it into smaller parts before we can take it inside. So the first thing that you do is to shred it and break it.
Okay.
Okay, and you break it because all these raw materials that you see has got something called lignin.
Okay.
Okay, and lignin is something that is tough for the bacteria to digest.
Okay.
So you want to break it in smaller parts because inside is cellulose. Cellulose is what the bacteria is looking for to convert into gas, and cellulose is what our stomach looks for as well. So what you do is break the rice straw or whatever comes into small parts. The first part is that.
Okay.
The second part is where you send it to a mixing tank.
Okay.
In the mixing tanks, what you do is you mix it with water, create a slurry.
Okay.
And that slurry is important, just like we do in human body. What our throat does, it gives moisture, makes it wet as you take it in. Then it goes to the digesters.
Okay.
Okay, the digesters are the stomachs of the human body. And this is what takes the slurry and creates gas out of it. Okay, and which is why they are structured like this, because the gas is lighter, it goes to the top, it gets collected.
That's why the balloon shape.
That's why the balloon is there, yeah, and it collects. When it gets sufficient pressure, you take the gas out, but at that point, the gas is unclean gas.
Okay.
And when you hear CBG, anybody you can make CBG at home as well. Yeah, you take your food, put it in a compost, CBG aa jayega. The difference between CBG and bio-CNG is bio-CNG is pipeline grade gas. Which means you can put it into your CNG car, you can put it into an industrial plant. It meets all the characteristics that CNG meets from.
So you can use it. It's absolutely accessible for.
So the fourth step of the process is cleaning the gas.
Okay.
Okay, you clean it so that what you get has only got 50% methane.
Okay.
By the time you clean it up, it has 96% methane.
Okay.
And that 96% methane, pure methane, you can use it for anything. In our case, it goes to the fifth process, which is compression. You take this because the gas takes a lot of space, but eventually you need to be able to put it into your car, you want to be able to put it into bottles, you want to be wherever you want to. So you compress the gas, which is the last stage which is out there. Everything else that you do, see, is actually supporting for these 5 elements.
Ashish, what I want to understand, we've understood the whole process. We've said that this is a big market size as well, right? This comes in as a part for Thermax in green solution side of it, right? Last time we spoke, you said the margins are not as great as the other business.
Yes.
When do we see that improvement, or are the margins for this business going to be at these levels? Is there a possibility or scope of improvement?
It has got 2 parts of my answer. Like many things, it depends. Some of it depends on Thermax, some of it depends on the external environment. First is if the external environment improves, which is expected with the pricing change, and this is now a Prime Minister topic. The highest body of India is expected to provide the right incentives. So if the whole industry becomes bigger and grows fast, then the ability to make money also improves. So that is the first part. Second is the Thermax's ability to build differentiation into the solution. All these plants that we have done has taught us a lot. And there are still at least 3 major areas of innovation that we are working on, which we think can give us significant differentiation
In bio-CNG.
in bio-CNG. So if both the first part and the second part happens, the opportunity to make margins out there is significant. If the first part happens but the second part does not, then the volume comes. The profitability, we'll have to see how good and profitable that is. But we are certainly working towards making both of those things.
You know, I just want to understand opportunity for carbon capture. Where does that come?
Carbon capture will come, but the time is not immediate. Now is the work to work on technology, do demonstration projects, and in 3 years from now, by 2030, I expect India to have a very evolved carbon capture market and a carbon capture trading mechanism, carbon capture projects that are commercially viable based on the government's carbon trading mechanism and metrics. So right now, we all need to work, but this is proving out technology, doing demonstration projects, getting ready for a full-blown market in 2 to 3 years from now.
Ashish, some numbers now I want to know.
Sure.
Order book FY26 and 13,600 crores. Good growth. 30% approximately growth we are seeing, right? How do you see the order mix change from here on, given there is so much that is happening? How do you see this change for the whole conversation that we have had?
I'm not going to get into the ask of forecasting what the future looks like. And you can see, you know, the war, it's just gotten over. What may change? India is just coming out of a tough cycle in a way with, it was tariffs first, then the war. Now we don't know what the monsoons are going to look like. So it's tough to say, look, this is what you would be. I can say I am extremely bullish on almost every part of Thermax. We have a very good international pipeline right now. Domestically, our large boiler business is seeing and projects business is seeing a big recovery on the thermal side. In our industrial products, the need for water-based solutions, the need for cooling solutions, broad-based heating, pollution control, all of those, we are seeing tremendous opportunity domestically and internationally. And things like bio and the entire green solutions business, with just a couple of tweaks, can really become rockets for the future. So I think this last year was an example of what Thermax can do. I expect to see similar possibilities and opportunities, at least for the foreseeable future.
But order book looks good, right? You all are getting a lot more inquiries across the board for your segments. All the 4 segments we talk about, you all are there. Chemicals too?
Chemicals too, all across, I would say, and because we are just finishing the quarter, it's not right to share numbers either.
No, absolutely.
But overall, continue to be bullish. We have got commodity price increases that are going in. You have to be
factor all of that in.
You have to factor all that. But from an order book and opportunity pipeline,
and the long-term story continues to stay intact.
The long-term story is India's long-term story. And India needs to build 2 to 3 Indias in the next 20-25 years of what we have done in the first 75. And I do feel this is the time for Indian companies and Indian technology.
You know, 2 important points I want to highlight. Last time we spoke a lot about data centers because that continues to be in focus, right?
Big time.
You had spoken about 2 areas that you all are in, 2 revenue streams for you all, cooling as well as boilers. Now, analysts are saying that this cooling opportunity alone itself for Thermax could double in the next few years. Would you agree with that case?
I would easily agree. Could be double or more, but it requires Thermax to be able to seize that opportunity. And this opportunity is in all aspects of the data center market, but it is especially relevant to the US data center market. So for us to establish our capability, convince customers in the US that this is technology that is important and relevant, to make sure we deliver products with quality and service and all that, that is the ask of Thermax. The opportunity size is extremely large.
And Ashish, from the last time we spoke 6 months ago, have you seen more orders come in, or how has it been given the current global scenario? I want to understand how is orders for data centers moved as well, or inquiries for data centers?
So inquiries for data centers has moved substantially. Okay, it has moved substantially, I would say multifold. From an opportunity closure perspective, in this last quarter, we closed one opportunity for supplying boiler pressure parts for data centers, again to the US. Okay. But overall, the pipeline is much stronger. And
conversion may be a bit of a delay right now given the process with the clients?
So conversion is the longer part of the process. And that is where I think I talked about. It depends on convincing customers that Thermax has the technology, the capability, and the wherewithal to service their needs.
Okay. Ashish, one more question. Exports, how has exports changed? Where does it stand for Thermax right now? And given the West Asia war and the current crisis that we were seeing, how have things evolved now?
So the West Asia war, I'll start with that first. I'll talk about the rest later. In the short term was a negative and continues to be a bit of a negative impact because you can't ship products out there. Customers are taking just a little bit longer to finalize orders. But in the medium term and the long term, I see that as a positive because there'll be a big reconstruction effort that will come in and new effort that will come in because many of those countries have got money to spend and will now look to do projects, even in response to some of what happened during the war itself. Overall, exports is an area that I'm very bullish on for Thermax. Over the last few years, we have invested a lot in improving our capabilities. We have started legal entities in multiple countries, ability to do projects in those local countries. Our manufacturing plant in Indonesia is also starting to scale up. So with all these investments that we have done, I'm personally very, very bullish on our ability to compete and there being a market that is ready for Indian exports.
What would exports be in the next 5 years for Thermax?
So exports are growing right now at good 20 to 30% for Thermax. I expect that rate to continue.
That rate to continue. And overall Thermax, FY26, around 10,600-700 crores we closed at. Let's talk about 5 years down the line. What would it look like?
I don't know what, what India would look like, but our goal is to grow 2 to 3x of India's GDP.
2 to 3x of India's GDP. Okay, so could we expect around double-digit growth, right?
Of course.
To continue for Thermax.
Of course.
In a CAGR term.
Of course,
Okay, Ashish, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking us through the opportunity that lies for bio-CNG, coal gasification, and overall opportunity for Thermax as well. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Vinny, and to the CNBC team to come out here and walk the plant with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.